Palermo F.C. Palermo Football Club, known as Palermo F.C., or more simply Palermo Italian. Palermo listen, locally Palermo is an Italian football club based in the Sicilian city of Palermo, originally founded on 1 November 1900. The current club is the reincarnation of Unione Sportiva Città di Palermo, founded in 1987 and excluded from Serie B in 2019 due to financial irregularities. The team achieved its greatest sporting success in the 2000s, during which it had 3 fifth-placed finishes in the Serie A, including 2 in a row, and also reached the 2005-06 UEFA Cup's round of 16. The club counts the Coppa Italia Serie C in 1992-1993 as a major honor in their history, with their appearances in 3 Coppa Italia finals, twice in the 1970s, 1974 and 1979, and again in 2011 in their 5 Serie B titles, alongside the many trophies won in the first 20 years of the 20th century. Palermo is often considered to be one of the most important and successful clubs of southern Italy. Regarding their performances in European competition, the club has 5 appearances in UEFA Cup/Europa League. In 2007, it occupied 51st place in UEFA ranking. According to the monthly ranking by the IFS, the highest ranking ever reached was the 19th place in both February and June 2006. According to another ranking of the same entity, the Rossonero were the 121st best team in the world from 1 January 1991 to 31 December 2009. Palermo play in pink shirts, being the sole Italian professional club to do so. This is accompanied by black as the secondary color. History. Early history: 1898–1947. There is some debate and uncertainty about the exact date the club was founded. Some authorities think it may have been as early as 1898 due to the existence of papers addressed to Joseph Whittaker, English consul in Palermo and originally believed to be first club president, about a Palermo football team founded in the month of April of that year. Actually, there is a probable misinterpretation of some sources. In April 1897, the future founders of Palermo Calcio founded the Association Sport Club. The most common and officially stated foundation date is 1 November 1900 as the Anglo-Palermitan Athletic and Football Club. The club is thought to have been founded by Ignazio Maggio Pagano, a young Palermitan colleague of Whittaker who had discovered football while at college in London in the UK, where the modern game of football originated. The initial staff comprised 3 Englishmen and 9 natives of Palermo, with Whittaker as honorary chairman, Edward de Garston as inaugural president, and with red and blue as the original team colors. The first recorded football match, played by the team on 30 December 1900, ended in a 5-0 defeat to an unidentified amateur English team. The first official match, played on 18 April 1901 against Messina Football Club, ended in a 3-2 win to the Palermitan side. In 1907, the club changed its name to Palermo Football Club, and the team colors were changed to the current pink and black. From 1908 until the final event in 1914, Palermo was featured in the Lipton Challenge Cup, organized by Scottish businessman Sir Thomas Lipton. The competition saw them face off against Naples. Palermo won the competition 3 times, including a 6-0 victory in 1912. After a gap during World War I, the club was refounded in 1919 as Unione Sportiva Palermo by a committee of young university students and sportsmen. During the early 1920s, the club mainly competed in the Campionato Lega Sud, a football league in southern Italy. The club was dissolved in 1927 due to financial problems, but was reformed 1 year later, following a merger with Vigor Palermo under the name Palermo Football Club. Originally admitted to Prima Division First Division, the equivalent of today's Serie Cone, the team was promoted into Serie B in 1930 and finally reached Serie in 1932. From its debut season in Italy's top division, Palermo relocated to a new home, the Stadio Littorio Lictorian Stadium in the Favorita neighborhood, today known as Stadio Renzo Barbera. The club played Serie A until 1936, when they were relegated to Serie B and first played Catania in the Sicilian derby. In 1936, Palermo was forced by the fascist regime to change its strip to yellow and red after the official colors of the local municipality. Meanwhile, economic difficulties arose, and in 1940 they were expelled by the Italian Football Federation because of financial problems. A merger with Unione Sportiva Juventina Palermo brought the foundation of Unione Sportiva Palermo Juventina, which joined Serie C in 1941 and Serie B in 1942. The club could not finish the 1942-43 season due to the arrival of WW2. At the same time, the pink and black colors were chosen because Sicily became a war zone. After the conflict, the club changed its name to US Palermo. Post-war years 1947-2002. After World War II, the team returned to Serie A by winning the Serie B Championship of 1947-48. The new Palermo squad featured players such as Czechoslovakian legend Čestmír Vukpálík, who signed from Juventus alongside Conti, Carmelo Di Bella and Pavesi. Palermo played Serie A until they were relegated in 1954. Massive changes in the board as well as the manager's job and the squad proved successful, and the club returned to Serie A in 1956. Palermo became a yo-yo club, bouncing up and down between the top two Italian leagues. Several stars played for Palermo during this period, such as Argentine striker Santiago Vernezza, 51 goals in 115 games with the Rossonero, goalkeepers Roberto Anzalin and Carlo Matrol, Giuseppe Fiorino and Franco Cosio. Palermo marked its best campaign in 1961-62 season, finishing in 8th place in Serie A in 1963. However, they were relegated to Serie B, where they played for 5 seasons. Palermo played again in Serie A between 1968 and 1970. In 1970, Renzo Barbera took over the club as the new chairman. After 1973, Palermo F.C. remained firmly rooted in Serie B. Despite this, Palermo reached 2 Italian Cup finals, both of which they narrowly lost, in 1974 to Bologna on penalty shootouts, and in 1979 to Juventus after extra time. Barbera left the club in 1980 and Palermo were relegated to Serie A 4 years later. The 1985-86 season, however, which ended in the summer, was the last for Palermo F.C., as having just saved themselves from relegation, the club was expelled by the Football Federation due to financial problems. In the summer of 1987, after a year without professional football in Palermo, the club was refounded bearing its current name and began to play in Serie C2, which it promptly won. In the 1990s, Palermo played between Serie B and Serie C with a few highs, such as its 1995-96 Serie B and Coppa Italia campaign, the latter ending in the quarter-finals, and a number of lows such as the 1998 relegation to Serie C2 after defeat in the playoffs to Battipaglia, later revoked by the federation. In March 2000, Roma chairman Franco Sensi led a holding company to purchase Palermo, and Sergio D'Antoni became the president of Palermo, and Palermo were promoted to Serie B 1 year later. The first comeback season in the Serie B with Bortolo Mutti as head coach was an eventless one, with Palermo ending in a mid-table placement. The Zamparini era, back to Serie A and European years 2002-2013. In the summer of 2002, Friulian businessman and Venezia owner Maurizio Zamparini acquired the club from Franco Sensi in a €15 million bid, with the clear intention to bring Palermo back to Serie A and establish the club as a Serie A regular with aims of participations. Palermo failed in its first attempt to reach the Serie A in 2002-03 on the final week of the season, but later managed to achieve it after a hard but successful 2003-04 campaign, which saw Palermo crowned as Serie B champions and promoted to Serie A after 31 years, under head coach Francesco Guidolin, who was hired in January. The 2004-05 season, the first in Serie A for the Palermo club since 1973, ended with an excellent sixth place, securing qualification for the 2005-06 UEFA Cup for the first time in its history. Luca Toni broke the Palermo Serie A scoring record by notching up 20 league goals. In the following season, despite an unimpressive 8th place in the Serie A table, Palermo reached the last 16 in the UEFA Cup as well as the Coppa Italia semi-finals. The club was, however, admitted to play UEFA Cup again due to the 2006 Calciopoli scandal, with Palermo players Andrea Barzagli, Christian Zaccardo, Simone Barone and Fabio Grosso being crowned 2006 World Cup winners. A number of impressive signings were made to establish an ambitious team, and a good beginning in the 2006-07 campaign appeared initially to confirm this. An 11-game winless streak, however, forced Palermo to fall down from 3rd to 7th place, ending the season in 5th place and ensuring another UEFA Cup qualification. The club successively established as a force in the mid-table part of the Serie A League, also winning a Campionato Nazionale Primavera national title in 2009. The following season started with new manager Walter Zenga, whose appointment from Sicilian arch-rivals Catania was greeted with surprise and dismay from supporters of both parties. Zenga's reign, however, lasted only 13 games, as he was dismissed on 23 November 2009 due to poor performances, ironically after a 1-1 home tie to Sicily under the tutelage of Dilio Rossi. Results dramatically improved, and Palermo established a record of 7 consecutive home wins, including wins against Italian giants Milan and Juventus, and emerging as serious contenders for a Champions League spot, which they ultimately lost to Sampdoria by only 1 point. Such season also launched new emerging stars such as midfielder Javier Pastore and goalkeeper Salvatore Siri, who went on to become integral part of their respective international teams. The 2010-11 season started with Dilio Rossi still in charge of the club, and also marked Palermo's return into continental football in the form of the UEFA Europa League. Palermo reached their 3rd Coppa Italia finals after defeating Milan 4-3 on aggregate on 10 May 2011, losing 3-1 to Internazionale in the final in what is considered one of the peak moments of Zamperini's period at the club. Zamperini's later years and Saravi returned 2011-2018. For the 2011-12 season, Dilio Rossi was replaced by former Chievo boss Stefano Pioli, who was, however, sacked before the Serie A kickoff after being eliminated by Swiss Minnows FC Thun in the Europa League 3rd preliminary round. New head coach Divis Mangia, with no managerial experience other than at youth team and minor league level. A string of poor results, however, led Palermo to 3 consecutive defeats, including elimination from the Coppa Italia and a disappointing loss in the Sicilian derby, persuading Zamperini. Palermo arrived 16th in that season. For the 2012-13 season, Zamperini came with another staff revolution, appointing Giorgio Perinetti as the new director of football and Giuseppe Sannino as the manager, both coming from Siena. A complete squad restructuring, a total 5 managerial changes and some staff changes, including a short stint with Pietro Lo Monaco as sports director, did not help, and Palermo ended its season in 18th place, being thus relegated to Serie B after 9 consecutive seasons in the top flight. For the new Serie B campaign, Zamperini appointed former Milan and Italy international star Gennaro Gattuso as the new manager. Despite him having little prior managerial experience, he was sacked in September 2013, the 28th sacked manager in 11 years. Fortune was reversed rather rapidly, however, as Palermo regained promotion back to Serie A for the 2014-15 season under the guidance of new head coach Giuseppe Iacchini, with the Rossonero completing a record-breaking Serie B season with 86 points, 1 more than previous record holders Juventus, Chievo and Sassuolo, all of them in the 22-team Serie A. With Iacchini confirmed in charge, Palermo played a rather successful 2014-15 Serie A season, narrowly missing on a UEFA Europa League spot, also thanks to the all-Argentine striking force of Paulo Dybala and Franco Vasquez. In 2015-16 season, Palermo started their season without Dybala. After the youngster moved to Juventus, the Rossonero therefore relied on senior striker Alberto Gilardino to play as a partner of Vasquez. Another long list of managerial changes during the season, 7 in total, with David Ballardini as the final one, marked a very troublesome season, during which Palermo escaped relegation on the last day of the league with the necessary win over Hellas Verona 3-2, securing 16th place. For the 2016-17 season, Zamparini reappointed Rino Foschi as director of football. He, however, resigned after just a month in charge and was replaced by former Trapani director Daniele Faggino. Most senior players, such as Gilardino, Sorrentino, Vasquez and Mersco, were sold and mostly replaced with Alessandro Diamanti plus a number of young and quasi-unknown foreign players. Ballardini, who was originally confirmed as head coach, left his position after a draw at Inter Milan at the second match day of the season and was replaced with Serie A newbie Roberto De Zerbi, who ended his stay after 7 league losses in a row, with former club captain Eugenio Corini taking over. More managerial and staff changes followed with little luck, and on 27 February 2017, Zamparini stepped down as chairman of Palermo after 15 years in charge, announcing he had agreed in principle to sell his controlling stake to an unspecified Anglo-American fund led by Italian-American Paul Baccaglini, who was named new. Palermo ended the season in 19th place, being relegated to Serie B. The takeover, originally scheduled to be finalized by 30 April 2017 and then delayed by 30 June, eventually collapsed after Zamparini, who in the meantime had appointed Bruno Tedino as new head coach for the 2017-18 Serie B campaign, rejected the. On 4 July 2017, Baccaglini resigned as Palermo chairman, falling back into the hands of Zamparini after the necessary funds were not in place. Palermo's campaign in the 2017-18 Serie B aimed for an immediate return to the top flight, with Bruno Tedino as head coach and Fabio Lupo as director of football. Initially, the team's form was good and the Rossonero ended the first half of the season in first place. However, a string of negative results led to the appointment of new manager Roberto Stallone, who was ultimately unable to win promotion, ending the regular season in 4th place and eventually losing the playoff finals to Frosinone. New ownerships, financial issues, and Serie B exclusion 2018-2019. For the 2018-19 Serie B season, Palermo, with Rino Foschi back for a third time as sporting director, found themselves having to sell a number of players for financial reasons. On 22 November 2018, the club formally confirmed a takeover agreement between Zamparini and an undisclosed investor, later confirmed to be the London-based Sport Capital Group Investments Limited, with English businessman Clive Richardson, head of the new group, being named as new club chairman. Following a January 2019 transfer window with no signings at all and serious tensions within the board, Clive Richardson, chairman, and John Treacy, director, both resigned from the club with immediate effect on 4 February 2019, citing that the full nature of the serious financial situation at the club had not been fully disclosed to them at the time of their purchase. Days later, the club was acquired for a nominal fee by Daniele De Angeli, former managing director from the Zamparini days, and Rino Foschi, appointed as chairman, only for them to sell it again to hotel and tourism company Arcus Network S.R.L. later in May. The new owner, Sporting Network S.R.L., subscribed to €5 million capital increase to the club. At the end of the 2018-19 Serie B, Palermo finished in 3rd place with 63 points, but was demoted by FIC to last place in Serie B on 13 May due to serious financial irregularities, which meant relegation to Serie C for the following season. The club appealed to FIC against this ruling and were successful in having the penalty revised rather than automatic demotion. The club was merely docked 20 points instead, which consequently placed them in a comfortable mid-table 11th position. However, on 24 June 2019, Palermo incorrectly submitted to FIC their standard application for the following 2019-20 Serie B season by failing to provide evidence of a valid insurance policy for the new season. A club trading with no insurance is an extremely serious breach of Italian company law, and as such FIC had no alternative but to formally exclude the club not only from Serie B but indeed all professional leagues on 12 July 2019. A fresh start 2019 present. On 23 July 2019, in compliance of Article 52 of NOIF, Mayor of Palermo Leoluca Orlando confirmed 6 declarations of interests had been presented for a new Phoenix club. The next day, Orlando announced his choice of a bid by a company named Hero Hora SRL, jointly owned by entrepreneurs Dario Miria Palermo native and Renzo Barbera's nephew, and Sicilian American Tony Di Paisa. Palermo completed their Serie D campaign in first place and was awarded promotion to Serie C by the Italian Football Federation after all the amateur leagues were stopped in March 2020 due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. On 16 July 2020, the club changed its name to Palermo Football Club. Colors and badge. The new official badge as of 2019 is a white eagle's head and 3 pink/black feathers within a black stylized letter P, letter P, letter P, stylized letter P, stylized letter P. The eagle represents the city of Palermo, as it is also part of the city's official coat of arms. This new badge replaced the long-standing badge of the previous formation of the club, an escutcheon with an eagle poised for flight within it, and the previous official club denomination US, Città di Palermo in capital letters on the top. From its foundation, Palermo originally played with a red and blue shirt as its official colors, but decided to switch to the unusual current choice of pink and black on 27 February 1907, contemporaneously with the change of denomination to Palermo Football Club. The color choice of pink and black was suggested by Count Giuseppe Eroldi, a prominent founding member of the club. In a personal letter, Eroldi wrote on 2 February 1905 to English club councillor Joseph Whittaker. He defined pink and black poetically as colors of the sad and the sweet, a choice he amusingly asserted to be suited for a team characterized by results as up and down as a Swiss clock, noting also the fact that red and blue were available. The club had to wait for their new jerseys for 3 months because no pink cotton flannel material was available in Palermo, and the appointed tailoring company could only find suitable material from England and had to import it from there. The vivid new shirts were first worn in a friendly match against Sir Thomas Lipton's Crewe team. The match ended in a 2-1 win for Palermo. From 1936 to 1940, the team were forced to play in red and yellow jerseys due to an imposition by the fascist regime of Benito Mussolini, red and yellow being the official colors of the municipality of Palermo. When the club was refounded in 1941 following a merger with Juventina Palermo, they started dressing in light blue shirts on the pitch. Shirt sponsors and manufacturers. Stadium. Palermo plays its home matches at Stadio Renzo Barbera. The stadium was opened in 1932, during the fascist regime, with the name Stadio Littorio after the Italian name for the fascist symbol. The inaugural match, won by Palermo 5-1, was played on 24 January 1932 against Atalanta. In 1936, the Littorio was renamed Stadio Michel Marron after a fascist soldier who died in the Spanish Civil War. Initially, the stadium featured a running track and no spectator space behind the goals, only terraces and a stand along the side. In 1948, following the end of World War II and the fall of the fascist regime, the stadium was renamed Stadio La Favorita after the Favorita neighborhood where it was located. It was also restructured to remove the running track and add 2 curved-in sections, increasing its capacity to 30,000. In 1984, It was enlarged to 50,000. The new capacity was reached only twice, for a Sicilian League match against Sicilian rivals Messina and for a friendly match against Juventus. On the occasion of the 1990 FIFA World Cup, the stadium was renovated, some new seats added, but the overall capacity reduced to 37,619. During the 1989 renovation works, 5 employees died following the collapse of a section of the stadium. In 2002, the stadium was renamed in honor of Renzo Barbera. In 2007, Palermo chairman and owner Maurizio Zamparini announced plans to move the club to a new state-of-the-art stadium, possibly to be located in the Zian neighborhood of Palermo, not far from the Velodromo Paʻlɛrmo, a smaller stadium which had previously hosted some Palermo matches. Supporters. The majority of Palermo supporters come from the city and its neighborhood. However, Palermo is also widely popular throughout western Sicily, as well as among Sicilian immigrants in northern Italy, leading Palermo to have one of the largest followings in its away matches. Palermo supporters, mainly Sicilian immigrants, are also present outside Italy. For example, a number of Palermo fans living in and around the German city of Solingen have even founded a club named FC Rossoneri in honor of Palermo, which, as of 2007, plays in the Kreisliga B league. Support for Palermo is traditionally closely associated with a strong sense of Sicilian identity. Indeed, it is not uncommon to see Sicilian flags waved by fans and ultras during Palermo matches. Palermo fans are also twinned with Lecce ultras. This friendship was strengthened by the acquisition of Fabrizio Micali, who is originally from the city of Lecce and a well-known Lecce supporter, who went on to become captain of Palermo and also the club's most prolific player. Palermo's biggest rivals are fellow islanders Catania. Matches between Palermo and Catania are usually referred to as Sicilian derbies, despite the existence of a third Sicilian team, Messina, who played in Serie A alongside Palermo and Catania in recent years. Rivalry with Messina, although historically older, is generally less intense than that with Catania. The 2006-07 return match between Palermo and Catania, played on 2 February 2007 at Stadio Angelo Massimino, Catania, is remembered due to the death of policeman Filippo Rassiti, who was injured during riots between the local police and the Catania supporters. This event led Italian Federation Commissioner Luca Pancalli. According to a survey of 2008, the team has about 1.47 million fans domestically, placing it among the top 10 best-supported Italian teams. For example, at the Coppa Italia final played in Rome on 29 May 2011 against Inter, which Palermo lost 3-1, it was estimated that there were 50,000 fans from Palermo, easily outnumbering the Nerazzurri fans present. On 13 July 2012, Palermo fans were recognized as the fairest in the 2011-12 season, winning the Fair Play Trophy Gaetano Sira established by the Council of the Serie A. Players. Current squad. As of 1 July 2021, note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Out on loan. Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Former players. In 2020, as part of the celebrations for the club's 120th anniversary, Palermo announced a Hall of Fame selection, with 11 players and a manager selected from a list of over 100 proposals. The most voted players were Stefano Sorrentino, Federico Balzaretti, Andrea Barzagli, Fabio Grosso, Eugenio Corini, Josip Ilicic, Javier Pastore, Lamberto Zoli, Paulo Dybala, Fabrizio Micali, Luca Toni. Club officials. Managers. In 2020, as part of the celebrations for the club's 120th anniversary, Palermo announced a Hall of Fame selection, asking their supporters to select the best manager in the club's history among a list of successful ones from the past. The best manager in the club's history was selected to be Francesco Guidolin, who led Palermo to win promotion to Serie A in 2004 after a 31-year absence, and sixth place in the top-flight best result in the club's history and consequent first-ever European qualification the year after. Other candidates for all-time manager were in order of votes: Giulio Rossi, Giuseppe Iacchini, Ignazio Arcolio, Sestmir Vikpalic, Fernando Veneranda, Giuseppe Caramano, Rosario Pergolesi, Corrado Vicini, Carmelo Di Bella, Gipo Viani, Finigno de Grandi. Chairman history. Over the years, Palermo has had various owners and chairmen. Here is a chronological list of the known chairmen. Honors: Coppa Italia. Runners-up 3: 1973-74, 1978-79, 2010-11, 11, 11, 11, 11. Serie B. Champions 5: 1931-32, 1947-48, 1967-68, 2003-4, 2013-14. Runners-up 2: 1955-56, 1958-59. Serie C. Champions 1: 1941-42. Serie Cone. Champions 2: 1992-93, 2001. Runners-up 2: 1984-85, 1990-91. Serie C2. Champions 1: 1987-88. Serie D. Champions 1: 2019-2020 A20D. Prima Division. Champions 1: 1929-30. Coppa Italia Serie C. Winners 1: 1992-93. Runners-up 3: 1987-88, 1989-90, 1990-91. Supercoppa di Lega di Serie C. Runners-up 1: 2001. Coppa Federale Siciliana. Winners 1: 1920 Whitaker Challenge Cup. Winners 1: 1908 Lipton Challenge Cup. Winners 5: 1910, 1912, 1913, 1914, 1915 Torneo di Tunisi. Winners 1: 1923. Campionato Primavera. Winners 1: 2008-9. Campionato Nazionale Dante Berretti. Winners 1: 2001. Coppa Allievi Professionisti. Winners 1: 1997-98. Campionato Giovanissimi Regionali. Winners 2: 2011-12, 2012-13. Records: most appearances in all competitions 372, Roberto Baffi 1988-1999. Most European appearances 15, Andrea Barzagli, Franco Brianza, and Macha Cassane. Most Serie A League appearances 165, Fabrizio Micali 2007-2013 and 13. Most league goals 74, Fabrizio Micali 2007-2013. Most Serie A League goals 74, Fabrizio Micali 2007-2013. Most Coppa Italia Cup goals 7, Massimo De Stefani's 1979-1984. Most Europa League/UEFA Cup goals 4, Franco Brianza 2000-2013, Abel Hernandez 2009-2014. Most goals in all competitions 81, Fabrizio Micali 2007-2013. Most goals in a season 30, Luca Toni 2003-2004. Current player with most appearances 65, Alberto Pellegatti. Biggest win and biggest home win in Serie A 8-0 v Pro Patria, 5 November 1950. Biggest away win 8-1 v Potenza, 1 March 1942. Biggest defeat and biggest away defeat 0-9 v Milan, 18 February 1951. Biggest home defeat 0-7 v Udinese, 27 February 2011 T11. Highest number of points in Serie A League 65 pt. 2009-10 fifth best series without home defeats 26 Palermo Lex 5-2, 15 March 2009 Palermo Cagliari 0-0, 29 August 2010 greatest series of consecutive victories in Serie A League 5 2006-7 competitions league national cups international competitions in Europe UEFA Cup / UEFA Europa League